But one of the things I'm going to do tonight is look at these horses. And what I want you to do is you watch me work with them, and I'm going to be sharing things. I want you to watch their mannerisms and the way that they work with me, and see if you can relate to this horse. And what I'm going to try to do is, and I know I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm going to kind of represent God for right now, in that God moves our feet, changes our direction. That's how, being a horse trainer, that's how we work with horses. And that's how we get their attention. You know, and I know for myself, God's worked with me that way. You know, I don't know if any of you know this or not, but Cindy and I moved down here about 8 years ago from Michigan. So God moved our feet and changed our direction 1,300 miles to come down here because, well, for Cindy it was, yes. But the reality was I wasn't where I needed to be. And by moving down here, we moved down to Boys and Girls Country. We were house parents there for 2 years. Learned a lot about ourselves and about each other. Learned about God, serving. So, so I try to take in a lot of things that I do, and when I do with the horse, I try to parallel it to my life in the way that God's trying to direct me and guide me. So as we go through this, just kind of think about it in that way. And I'm going to bring out each one of these horses individually, work with them a little bit, just kind of show you their characteristics. And then I'm going to bring them, all three of them in here together and show you the difference in the group dynamics and how that changes our walk. And you'll see how they change when they get in the group. And it's no different than us. But it gives us a visual. And for me, I got to have my hands on it. I got to see it for it to make sense to me. So that's where the horses really help me, is to, because I can put my hands on it, I can see it. So I'll take right now and introduce my assistants. This is Cash. He's the oldest out of the group. And Cash is actually the father of this one. He had an operation, so he can't father anymore, but he is actually his father. So this little one here, his name is Whiskey. Okay, he's a 2-year-old. Nice little horse. One back here in the back, this one's called Peanut. Well, Peanut and Whiskey are brothers. They have the same mom, different dad. You know, when I was thinking about doing this, I was like, man, I don't know about, you know, we're here at church and I got 2 horses named Cash and Whiskey. That's just kind of, whew, what am I going to do with that? But then I got to thinking the other day, I was thinking about that, and I was like, you know, how many times does money interrupt our walk with God? How many times does possibly alcohol, drugs, interrupt our walk with God? Peanut, I'm not sure. I guess I'd go with food or something. Make that up. I don't know. But just something else to keep in mind is, you know, think about these distractions that we have in money, alcohol, and how it affects our walk with God. So anyways, I'm going to get started here and play with Cash a little bit. So the deal is I'm in the middle of the ring. I'm the leader. In our lives, that's where God needs to be, is in the center of our life. And He can guide us. And He can guide us easy. So my goal is to be able to point up in the air and the horse should go. Okay? Cash is trying to figure out what I'm asking, so be patient with him a little bit. So, just like this horse, I want my relationship with God that He just says, nice little point, go this way. When I want this horse to stop, I just kind of step out and he stops and he shows me respect by looking at me. How do we show God respect when He's guiding us? Well, it's tough for us to actually see Him, but can we listen? So, I'm going to change directions on Cash. Like I told you before, the way to get to a horse's mind is by moving his feet and changing his direction. And I really believe that my walk with God is no different. He moves my feet and changes my direction so that I focus on Him. You know, a lot of people say, well, that's just being a greedy God. Well, He's God. He made all this. So, when I ask Cash to speed up, all I do is point up again. And I point up again, and he should go faster every time. So, there we go. So he wasn't quite listening to me. And I'm going to take and change his direction. Say, listen to me. How many of you have ever had God move your feet, change your direction? What does it feel like? Can He just stop moving and you stop and look at Him? With horses, for me, it's kind of a saying I have now is, I want to lead them with tissue paper and push them with feathers, that they can be that light. Well, what's God say about His yoke? His yoke is light, right? So, Cash is doing really good here. There was a time that Cash and I had some battles because he really hadn't been worked in many years. And so he just kind of said, I don't think so, man. You want me to stop? You want me to turn? Are you kidding? I just want to get out here and run. And I said, no. You have to walk. I need you to walk. I need you to pay attention to me. So, signs of respect out of a horse. I can bring him to a stop, and he stops and looks at me, gives me two eyes, gives me two ears. So, then we can work on the relationship. Once he starts listening, paying attention, we kind of walk together. And he's having a tough time with it because he's looking at this green grass going, you want me to walk with you? I want to put my nose to the ground and get some of that green grass. Just say, follow me. So,
don't sit right there, there's ants.
Cash is going pretty easy tonight. So, we'll take and see who else we can get. So how many of you can relate a little bit to Cash in your walk with God? He's pretty easy. Notice he's really relaxed. We'll see who we can get next. So here's Peanut. But that's pretty loud in that speaker, isn't it? Peanut's 3. I just started riding Peanut. Peanut's a little bit interesting in that he can be soft and light too, but he can also be a little disrespectful. And Peanut's thing is, he's kind of a group horse. He has to have the others around him for security. So if you notice as we're going around here, see how we get over here? Just go all the way to the fence. He does if I kind of push him over there. But see how he's drawn and he'll get real close to the fence over here. Because he wants to be with his friends. Step out. And these guys aren't giving me too many fits tonight. This is kind of nice. Or step back there, buddy. So, we'll go around and it's like God says, let's move our feet. Let's do things together. The more we work together, the better we can be. And he says, wait a second, let me change the direction. Just have to make sure that you're following me. When we change the direction, think about our Bible study. Sunday school last week was about what? Abraham. He said, leave your home, leave your land, follow me. How many of us have done that? Something must have got to Peanut. Peanut never does that. Gonna have to do some thinking on this one. So anyways, so see how Peanut's just staying close to me? It's the joy of working with horses. You never know what you're going to get. You have to work the horse that showed up. Does God ever have to work with the human that showed up? One thing I like to do with my horses is put myself in vulnerable positions. To say, you know what? I trust you, and I hope that you trust me. So, let's go ahead and see if we can get Mr. Whiskey out here, see if we can get somebody to give us a little bit more attitude. I'm sure it'll come out eventually. And Peanut, for the most part, has been a pretty easy horse to work with. Not really a lot of problems. Now Whiskey, on the other hand, he's been kind of a handful when he was a baby. It took me quite a while just to be able to halter him, because he didn't want me anywhere near him. We finally got past that. So the good one's going to start trying me now. These horses, I work with them twice a week. But right now, mainly I'm working with Peanut, getting him rideable. So, Whiskey and Cash, I really haven't done with much with them in probably about a month. So, are you clucking over there? Man, I hear a future horse trainer there. You got the cluck going over there. I heard that. Can you do that again? I don't know. Who was clucking? I heard somebody clucking. So, these guys, you know, are doing really good for me tonight. Pretty impressed with that. How many of us are like this? That, you know, once we kind of get settled in, we kind of do pretty good. As long as we don't get challenged too much. We just kind of keep going through the motion and doing really well. Let's see if we can change his direction. But he kind of said, well, I'm not sure about that. So the reason that I'm doing this is I'm going to here in a minute going to bring the other two back in here and show you kind of the group dynamics. So just kind of have to get them listening and thinking. So far there really hasn't been much of a difference between the three of them, has there? Sorry about that. But that's just the way it goes. But we'll find some things here in a minute. But you see how he's still he's distracted too, because he wants to be with his friends. How many of us have been distracted and want to be with our friends and want to do our own thing instead of following what God's asked us to do? And that's stop and change direction. Focus on me. Listen. Turn towards me. He's doing pretty good, so we'll just go ahead and kind of speed things up here a little bit. See what happens when we get the group together. Come on. Where's that clucker at? All right, let's hear that clock go. There you go. Got to get him through the gate. All right, there we go. Good job. Thanks for the help. So now, what we're going to do is move them around here. See if they'll follow my instructions. And we're getting together. Notice Whiskey. Oh, see how he's just kind of playing, and he just wants to kind of nip on somebody and say, hey, we can take the whole group and change the direction on them. You didn't listen, Whiskey. So we can get a whole group going together. We got the leader, we got the follower, we got the one that causes trouble. Who's that one, Brian? So then, let's see what happens when God says, let me single you out and see what happens. Do you join up with your friends, or do you listen to me and keep going the same direction? The direction that I asked you to go. So right there was Peanut being respectful. Did he turn towards me? Nope. Am I going to have to move his feet? Yep. There you go. A wise choice. How many of you have ever been separated out before to do something that God's called you to do? Notice here how Peanut's starting to tune in a little bit. The way you tell, he got a little traffic jam, so can't get after him. And I know it's hard to see out here tonight, but this is something that I watch for, because I watch for his ear. Horse will tell you where they're paying attention to if you follow their ear. I don't know if you can see it or not, but he's got his inside ear really tipped towards me. Is he paying attention to what I'm saying? What I'm doing? Yep. Is he worried so much about his friends? He says, let me get up here and get in traffic. And I say, keep going that way. So then I'll just say, okay, you can get back with your friends now. You did well. We'll go around again. Come on, Whiskey, you can do that. God will say, hey, change your direction again. I need the whole group to go this way. And then we'll see if we could single Cash out. Just say, hey, I need you to go this way. And he says, okay, you did well. I can go back with your friends. And he says, let's just stop and rest. Hello? Stop and rest. So, looking back, when we singled Peanut out, and he kind of got lost in traffic, kind of got lost when he came back to the crowd and kind of mingled in just for a brief second. He kind of got lost, right? How many of us have done that? We're fine when we're walking well. But when he singles us out, we start walking closer and closer to him. But then we kind of go back with maybe some of our old friends. Are we doing the things we're supposed to be doing? What did Peanut think about when he got back with his friends? Was it following my instruction? Or was it, did he want to get back with his friends and go back in the same direction? So, this grass is a big deterrent. But one of the things that, the next step is after we move their feet and change their directions, God guides us. What is the main thing in our walk with God? Is, now I'm going to shift a little bit. And it's about following Him, joining up with Him. And I'm going to try and see if I can get at least one of these guys to join up with me. And what that means is, in horse language, when a horse joins up with you, he will follow you wherever you go. You don't have to lead him. He just follows. And you can guide him with tissue paper and push him with feathers. And he wants to be with you. So, it's kind of like that with us. When we accept Jesus, what do we have? We definitely have a path to the Father, right? We have somebody that can definitely walk with us, that knows us because He's been there. One thing about whiskey is whiskey's a lot like, and he's the youngest one, so it's kind of like in the Bible it says, about the kids coming to Jesus. Come with a childlike spirit. And when I work these guys, and I've done this before, out to the owner's place and get them in this pen together like this, as soon as I stop, the first one that wants to join up with me is whiskey. He's like, man, dude, I like what you got. I like how you talk to me. I understand what you're saying. I don't know how well it's going to go tonight, but I'm just going to kind of let whiskey go there. He'll probably come up. We'll see who else we can get. And a lot of times what happens when I try to join up with these two, Cash is that one that is like, I want to, but I'm just not sure. Then he'll eventually finally give in and join up with me. I don't know if he's going to do it tonight. The joys of working with horses, you just never know. But really, it's no different than us with Jesus. He just says, follow me. And we have times that it's like Peanut here. He won't leave Cash's side. Wherever Cash goes, Peanut will go. Peanut's that follower. And how many of us are like Peanut? And that we can't do anything for God unless somebody is leading us. We have a tough time following Him if we don't have a leader. How many of us are like Cash? Just kind of reserved. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I want to step out there yet. And how many of us are like Whiskey? He says, man, I love what you've got. I want to be with you. I want to understand you. I want to go where you go. So, just take that minute and just think about, who are you? Who can you relate to? And why? Do you need your feet moved? Direction changed a little more often? You just need a little more time? So, anybody have any comments, questions? Yes, ma'am.
How did you get the name how did you get the name Whiskey?
I have no idea. That's the owner. These aren't my horses. They're a client of mine. So, that was the name that was there before I started. So, got another question? I know you're full of them. You don't know anymore, huh?
Is Whiskey a dark gun or a Grula?
Yeah. Whiskey's changed colors probably about 5 or 6 times in a year or so that I've been going over there. Year and a half, I don't know what it's been. So we're just waiting until he's probably about 5 to decide what he's going to be. So. So am I the only crazy one around here that can look at a horse and their interactions with each other
I have a
or
question.
with me? Yes.
Do you find any other personalities in horses besides like the 3 you've talked about tonight?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of personalities. I've got one client that her horse was, when I first started working with her, was super aggressive. Fighting, kicking, striking, whatever he could do to get his own way. How many of us have been like that before? Or still? Fighting to get our own way. For what? And with that horse, I had to take and watch his subtle little cues to correct his behavior. And now, he's kind of an amazing horse. It's come a long ways. Where's Luann? Luann right there. You know Dylan.
Oh yeah.
He's a changed horse.
Yeah.
So, we've got that. We've got ones that are just super passive. That are just like, yeah, whatever. Just lead me. You know, the ones that are stubborn and bullheaded. Whiskey was a lot like that when he was younger. Just, you know, wanted his own way. But the more I interacted with him, and the more I showed him that I wasn't going to hurt him, the more I challenged him to move his feet, change his direction, change his mindset. Just like me. That God's got to take and move my feet, change my direction, change my mindset. Any other questions? Yes?
Why do the owners have whips so they can train them?
The whip, like this one?
Yes, sir.
Well, this is what we call a handy stick. All it is an extension of my arm. So I could reach out and I could just, maybe, scratch on him. He's saying, no, dude, you chased me around with that thing tonight. There's no way you're going to scratch me. But different people use their tools different. Some people use their tools to punish and really get nasty with an animal. I want this to be an extension of my hand. Just like, I know we got a lot of parents out here. Tell me about your hand. Your hand can show love. Your hand can show comfort. Your hand can show discipline. Right? Have you ever had any of that from your parents? No? Oh, wow, man, you're a perfect child. You want to come home with me? I got one or two, I'll trade. Let me talk to your parents afterwards. You heard that, parent? So the whip can be just all about punishment. It can also be about comfort, love, softness. Well, that is pretty much it. I don't know what time it is, but thank you. Wow. You got some energy there, Peanut. That was pretty cool. So.
Brother, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it. And as we look at our walk with God, we realize that we're a lot like the other horses. And we appreciate you doing this for us. And we're glad for you to try out new things on us. We appreciate that very much. So again, I appreciate you. And
thank you.